In the last lecture, I walked you through the class component and how generally it is structured. Now let's dive deeper into understanding the JSX. I am using the same code which we created using create react app. Now let's look at this app.js file. For understanding JSX, I will comment out this block of code here and return something else. I will use react object we are importing up here and call a method on it which is create element. This method takes number of arguments. You can see this if we look into the definition of create element. It takes number of arguments, but at least it requires 3. The first element or the first argument is the element we want to render to the DOM. This could be a div, it can be a normal HTML element, and it could be your own component too. So let us use div for now. The second argument is basically the configuration for this, and there we would pass a JavaScript object. This is optional, so we are going to pass null for now. The third argument here is any amount of children, or we could have multiple arguments separated by comma. By children, I meant that what's nested inside this div. Now in this case, we want to nest h1 tag as we can show in the commented code. Let us use this h1 element and the text which is passed in the h1 tag. I am using hi, I am React app. Now with that, let's save this code here with Control X and let's go back to our application. Here we will see h1 and hi, I am React app. If we inspect this in the developer tools in Chrome, we will get a div with 2 nodes inside it. One is h1 and other is hi, I am React app. And we didn't render h1 tag here. We rendered a text, and this is actually the default behavior of your browser. H1 here is interpreted as text. It's not rendered as element. If we want to render another element inside this div, we would have to replace this code with another react.createElement method. Here we would have to pass h1, second argument would be null, third argument would be the text which we are using. Now if we save this file and again go back to the application, we would see a h1 tag. If we inspect this, yeah, this is the h1 tag nested inside the div tag or div element. Now what, we don't see any CSS styling which was getting applied before, because we don't have any class which is being added in our JSX code. If we add class here, if we like to add class here, we would pass this JavaScript object as class name, and in the commented code we will see we are using class name for using the styling, not class. There's a reason for that and we will discuss it in our upcoming videos. For now, let us use this class name as the property, and the property value would be app. Let's save this and see the running code. Yeah, so this code is now center aligned, and if we inspect it, we will see a class is already up with the name of app is already applied on the div tag. If we look into the code carefully, what we wrote here is with react.createElement and the nested react.createElement, which is totally equivalent to the JSX code which we have commented above. It is the reason why we need to import React, even though we are not using it at all. When using this syntax, because behind the scene we will use it once it is compiled. Of course, writing the code like this using react.createElement is really cumbersome and difficult, especially when you want to add and nest more and more elements. That is why we typically don't use this code, but instead this code is which we started with. Let's uncomment it and comment it again, the new return statement. What the React is doing, it is actually compiling the whole return statement in the end. So that's all in this video. In the next lecture we are going to cover the restrictions of JSX we have, and so please stay tuned and thank you for watching.